the lightsaber from Darth Talon, the character that was to be the future of the Sith in Star Wars, and who could still be the future of the Sith in Star Wars, is now here from Korbanth and Jawa's Junkyard. Is this lightsaber worth it? Is this lightsaber amazing? I'm about to show you all of the reasons why you should or shouldn't buy this lightsaber, so come with me to check it out. Hey nerds, welcome back to the Fellowship of the Nerds. My and I am your host as always, Luke Skywalker. Today we have a really special one. Like I said at the start, we're going to be checking out this beauty by Korbanth and Jawa's Junkyard, the Red Mistress Darth Talon Lightsaber. This thing is amazing, but you're going to be asking me probably all the things that anybody will be asking with lightsaber. How much is going to set me back? Is it really worth the money? How good does it handle? And what sets this lightsaber apart from all the other lightsabers? Of course, I'm going to be answering all these questions. We'll go over ratings like we always do, just so we break down the lightsaber. We'll unbox it, we'll see all the details, and you'll finish this video knowing if this is one that is worth it for you. So let's start at the beginning. Let's unbox this. Okay, for our amazing Red Mistress, we have this lovely box, very glossy. From what you can see, it really reflects the light of our camera, but you see here the art of the saber. It says Red Mistress and it has Jawa's logo, also says Red Mistress. Really nice. And then we have here our saber, which is pretty amazing, done in wood, which is, I must admit, is a first, and it feels really impressive. This saber has a funny thing, which is like you can, you know, tighten it up as much as you can, and it will but it'll stay here a bit misaligned. But if you do this, the saber won't go anywhere. Everything is secure, everything is still fine, but it will align here properly. So you have like very OCD about seeing things perfectly symmetrical, just remember that. But just that little detail. Also, this brings, well, it doesn't come with this if you buy one, but I've included here the plaque that I've done with Nerd's Loot, which I think is fantastic. And you can get this plaque with 15% off. You'll see here the code on the screen until the end of September. Pretty sure if you're seeing this after the end of September 2026, you can still probably arrange for you to get a discount, but you might want to get it as quickly as possible. These plaques are really lovely. They're the ones that we designed alongside our friends on Nerd's Loot. Now, putting that aside, let's focus on our lightsaber. So this, to access your chassis, is very simple. You just unscrew. This is really not rocket science. And this thing will come off. Your chassis will slide down. And your activation kill switch is here.
I am stronger than my master ever was.
And this is the Soundfont that we did. And you see the light. You see the light that just went through there? That means that you are aligned. If you have doubts, just always pull it out. And I love the designs, the design here of you know, it's very reminiscent of you know, Talon and Maul. And you see the light here. So as long as that light is aligning with the button, everything should work as it should. And then you press. Perfect. And then to secure it,
just embrace the power.
You turn it off, and then you're gonna keep pressing. And then before you screw this, actually, let's take this outside for a second. You are going to secure your screw here. You don't really need to go crazy here because you don't want to destroy the chassis. You just adjust it there. That's it. It stays there. Perfect. And now, there you go. Awesome.
Kill him. Just embrace the power of it.
Absolutely impressive, guys. This is a saber that, because it's so unique, and really depends how you look at it with the light. It looks, sometimes it looks a bit greenier, sometimes it looks a bit grayer, sometimes it looks a bit blackish. It's really amazing this is one that I just can't wait to go in full details with you guys because it's really lovely. This will take a 1-inch blade. This blade plug here is a blade plug that I put. It doesn't come with a blade plug, but you can put whatever blade plug that you find. I just found that because it had these like cool silver finish here. I just thought this one suited it, but of course you can do whichever. But yeah, it's a 1-inch blade. So let's go over to this, back to the studio, and let's keep reviewing this because I promise you this thing is super cool. And here it is. Look at this insane thing. It's really, really something. Like I'm at a loss here for how amazing this lightsaber is. Look at the details of this. Really, really, really impressive, guys. Now this is the blade plug that I put. Like, it doesn't come with a blade plug, but you see the rings around it that are metal. I just thought, like, you know, this blade plug made sense, but like it might be that, you know, you choose that another blade plug that you have suits better. I want to say that maybe one of those Star Killer ones, the ones that have like black and red in here, might also be nice, but you know, might just be me. Now, a couple of things to go over about this lightsaber. You've seen the peculiarities of having to, like, you know, put the chassis in. So like you have to like hold the button once you've already, you know, checked that it works and stuff, and then adjust the screw. You have to be very gentle with the screw. Like, you don't need to like force it because you're gonna destroy your chassis. So you just, you know, once you feel some resistance and you're checking that, you know, if you do this, the thing doesn't, then you're fine. Like, don't overdo it because you can actually damage your chassis and nobody wants that. Few things, funny things to comment about this saber. Besides of what I mentioned on the unboxing about that, you know, the alignment here, there's also a funny thing is that whenever I use this with, I think that this is not that it's getting any feedback, is nothing wrong with the speaker or anything like that, but it gets a bit, I don't even want to say distorted, that's not the right word. It's like it gives you the impression that it's saturated, but it's not. The thing is, because this, this bulk here is creating a resonance, so like the sound is kind of feeding itself back in, but it's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with your speaker. You're not going to blow anything up or anything. Like, it is very loud, so that kind of goes with that. So if you want to change the volume of it, what you can do is the following. So if you have your lightsaber turned off, you just press and shock, and you just heard it. You enter the volume menu.
Maximum volume.
If it's pointing up, the volume is going up. So if it's pointing down, then the volume is going down. So let's say you want to stop there.
Exit volume menu.
You do the same thing. So, you know, you can do that if you want to, like, you know, make some adjustments with your volume and so, like, poke around. That's how you do it with a 1-button configuration from Korbanth. So there is that. If you don't, then it's fine. I mean, you can, again,
enter volume menu.
You can leave it at
maximum volume. Exit volume menu.
This is the music. I didn't mean to do this, but so if you double press it, so let's try that properly. If you double press this when it's not activated, there you go. You'll activate the music. Now this is the music that I did for Darth Talon. I'm not gonna bore you with all of it. It's very, very cool. I just like this music. I think fits perfectly Darth Talon. So if you wanna listen to it all when you get your lightsaber, this is how you activate the music on this 1 button. And then the cool thing about this blade plug that I was telling you about, it's very cool.
Just embrace the
now, things to have in mind about this lightsaber. It's made, I believe I said on the unbox, it's made out of wood. So it's a very, very peculiar design. I've never held anything like this in my life. It feels strange, but it also feels amazing. Like, it just makes you think, I have a very unique thing in my hands. Also, I was expecting this to be a lot heavier, but it's not. It's really, really light. Let's measure this on our scale. So we put this lightsaber on our scale as 613 grams, which is 1 pound, 6 ounces. Not bad at all. Well, there you go. I knew that this wasn't going to be heavy, but it's really like, it just feels great. So what do you say if we put a blade on this? I'd take it outside. I'll show you what it looks like in the dark, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be ridiculously awesome. And then I'll bring it back. We'll go over a bit of more around the Soundfont. We'll go around the rest of the Soundfonts and talk about a little bit more about the saber. I'm going to walk you through the lore of Darth Talon, and I want to tell you what's the price of this and how much you can save by watching this video.
Tear them apart. Just embrace the power of the dark side.
Guys, this is really awesome. Yeah, I thought it was going to be awesome. I mean,
I shall show you no mercy.
look at that. Look at that blade. Like, it's pulsing. The preon that I added on this, it just gives you that, you know, vibe of like something awesome is coming, and boom, this thing goes out and it just blows your freaking mind off. So it's absolutely cool. Like, the one thing that I'll say about this is that being a one button, there's something that it's just a pet peeve of mine, is that the fact that usually Korbanth's 2 buttons, when you activate your saber and then you want to do the lock off, you just long press your aux, but obviously this being a 1 button, you don't have that, so you have to actually do the thing and, you know, hit it. I'm not a super fan of hidden hilts, just for protection or whatever, but like, you know, there's something that tells me you shouldn't be doing that. And I love that Korbanth incorporates that type of, you know, configuration. But, you know, obviously being a 1 button, this is what you have to do. However, being a 1 button, because this is not elf, usually elf 1 buttons, you have to press and twist to get the force effects. Not on this, you're just going to double press. Tell me that's not cool.
Don't let him escape. So just embrace the power of the dark side.
This is amazing, guys. I mean, not because I made this sound, but like this lightsaber overall, I have to give massive props to Jawas, obviously Korbanth for carrying this, because it's, you know, I'm gonna sort of paraphrase or no, I'm not even gonna paraphrase it. I'm gonna quote Dr. Krennic and tell you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Because it is. So, this lightsaber, besides of this, of course, it's going to bring a lot of the other samples from Korbanth.
You were right about one thing, Master.
And then it's going to start. Usually, Korbanth's lightsabers do tend to start with Obi-Wan Phantom Menace. And I think it's a good thing to start in the Phantom Menace. So there's that. And you'll have, you know.
Anakin will become a Jedi.
And it cycles through Qui-Gon,
How did you
Maul,
Obi-Wan is a great mentor.
Anakin.
Sometimes we
Then
must
you
let
go,
go of our
you know,
and do
episode
as
2.
Master Kenobi, you desire.
Also another great play with the flicker that has Dooku. Like, it will have all the usual samples that you'll get for Lord Reavers for the most part. It does have a couple of the ones that we've done here at the Fellowship of the Nerds. And we will be doing more, of course. We will be doing more because we love working with Korbanth, and we love doing sound fonts. Because I think the sound font tells the story of a character. And this is a good segue for me to tell you a little bit about the story of Darth Talon. So Darth Talon, initially this was set in the future, way after Luke was long gone. and she was the apprentice of Darth Krayt, and then she eventually killed her master, and she was this amazing badass Sith. At that point, the Sith had let go of the rule of two, and she was one of two of the at that point Sith Lord hands. Do you remember the Emperor had a hand, famously Mara Jade? So it was pretty awesome. But the character got popular, and the legend goes that George realized that he liked the character, and he noticed the popularity of the character, and he said, I think we can do something about this with this character. So as he had worked with Dave Filoni to bring Darth Maul back, his plan for the sequel, spoiler alert here, by the way, but his plan for the sequel basically involved an old man Maul. So at that point, Maul wouldn't have not been killing rebels. Again, spoiler alert. He would have just continued, and then after the Empire was gone, he would have risen with his, gang of crime lords and all the stuff that he had done as controlling Crimson Dawn and all of that. And Darth Talon would have been his apprentice, and Darth Talon would have seduced the Skywalker Juniors. There would have been a character that was a character that ended up becoming Rey, and it was a whole different story. And I always feel like it's a shame that we never got to see that story, because we can say a lot of things about George Lucas and how he wrote dialogue and stuff, but like the stories that he wrote were amazing. Like, I mean, there's a reason why we're here after all. So I think it's a shame that we kind of got robbed of that, because it would have been amazing to see Darth Talon. We might get to see still Darth Talon. She might become the apprentice of this guy in Shadow Lord Season 2. We don't know, because we have if you've seen the ending of Season 1 of Shadow Lord, it's really like, it looks like she's going to take the path of the dark side. And if she does, then she might become a Sith Lord, and then she might take on the mantle of Darth Talon. We don't know. We'll have to watch Season 2 in 2027 to find out. Whenever you're watching this, you might be watching this in the future. I already know the answer to it. But all around, this character was really amazing. Her lightsaber is important. Like, if I have to say this, if we do see Darth Talon in Season 2 of Shadow Lord, I hope to God that they use this design, because not necessarily because it's Jawas or, but like this design follows what the the comics were. If you've seen the plaque, and I'll bring it to you again. It was. Let's see if I can get there. There, you can kind of see it there. It was based on what the comics was. So like, it's a really cool design. I do hope that they'll use it for it. Now, let's talk about how you can get this. So this, if you want to get it installed, you would already see it on Korbanth's page. It's over $700. It's $749 if I recall correctly. So if you want to get this, you can obviously get it at full price. But why would you? Well, you can get it off with 20% discount by using our discount code that you'll see here. And if you use that discount code, Fellowship, you're going to be bringing home this beauty cheaper. So absolutely do. Now, let's go over about ratings on this saber. And I'm going to start off with the design. And the design of this, you would think I would give it a 10 because of how awesome it is. But having said how awesome it is, I am going to give it a 9.5. The reason for that is very simple. Even though this is wood, and I have no issues whatsoever that this is going to hold, especially the edges feel a bit like, like when I mean the edges, I mean, literally the very edges. It kind of feels like I could accidentally damage it if it accidentally dropped it. So like, I'm probably overthinking it because it's wood. Like, usually wood doesn't break just that easy unless it was, IKEA wood, and this is not the case. So, there's that. Obviously this has been clearly, when you have it in hand, you can tell it's been varnished and stuff, so it's very nice. I don't see any issue. I don't think that the color would like fade and you'll end up with your hands with nothing like that at all. I just it's my worry that this might be a little bit delicate, and I'd be worried if I accidentally dropped it. So there is that. I wish that the screw here to stain the chassis would be on the back, but that's just me splitting hairs. To be fair, like, it's absolutely fine where it is. So it really, those are the only reasons why it wouldn't get a 10. And again, this just might be my perception. Like I could be entirely wrong. You can see this and be like, Luke, what are you talking about? This is a 10. So, you know, it's really up to you. But to me, I'll give it a 9.5 because I always want to be as honest as possible with you guys. In terms of ergonomics, this thing, like I said, is really, really light on the hand. Like you don't feel the weight of it at all. And if you're using a light blade, so like Korbanth blades tend to be very light, so absolutely not. You might, but this is up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but like you might want to put a blade that's not Korbanth, that's a bit heavier to give you like the counterbalance. Some people would prefer it that way, others wouldn't, but like, again, that's entirely up to you. But in terms of ergonomics, I'm not gonna give this a 10, but I'm gonna give it a 9.5, just on the basis that this, you know, remember what I told you about this, that if your OCD gets crazy, you can leave it there, which is what I would do, because my OCD does get crazy. But then as you're swinging, you're kind of feeling like, you know, that's trying to adjust, and it's not a bad thing, because if it closes, then obviously your chassis is double secure, but you kind of feel weird, like, no, stay where you got. So again, if you have an OCD thing, it might drive you a bit insane, but that's really it. Like that's the only thing that would harm the experience of ergonomics wise of this lightsaber. So that's the reason why it's going to get a 9.5. And in terms of sound, it's also going to get a 9.5, only on the basis of, obviously I love the sound. I don't know why. But I think it's very loud and everything. It's just the fact that I wish that this had a little bit more venting, so the sound wouldn't get, like, you know, caught in there, and because, you know, you can tell it's a bit again, it's not saturated or anything like that. It's more the fact that because it doesn't have an escape, it sort of becomes like a feedback loop, if you will. So, and again, it's not that it's feedback, that's not even the right term. So I kind of wish that it had a little bit more, you know, exhaust, if you will, so the sound would like go out more freely and stuff. But it's not a problem at all. And if you think that that's not, that, you just lower a little bit the volume and you'll be fine. So it's, again, I am just splitting hairs, and that's the reason why I'm giving it a 9.5. But look, I'd rather tell you the truth, guys, and be like, look, here's the deal, than tell you, oh yeah, this is amazing, everything's a 10, and you know, like, because that's not honest. And I've seen that so many times on so many reviews out there, you know, when they're basically, they talk to you about a lightsaber, and it's like, you know, it's the best thing since sliced bread, and there's no flaws, and it's fantastic, and it's amazing. I don't like that. You know, call me silly, but I'd rather be honest and just tell you, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly of lightsabers, like I've done in the past, than just tell you everything, you know, play a little bit of the Lego movie here. Everything is awesome. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you that everything is awesome. Like I want to tell you, if I find something that's a bit or off, I'd rather tell you than you buy it and be like, you know what, Fellowship said that this and this and this, and then I don't know. No, because I'd rather be on. But if you put all that together, that's gonna give us an amazing 9.5 out of 10, which is, needless to say, a perfect reason to tell you that this is obviously recommended by the Fellowship of the Nerds. And I'm only gonna say this once, but if you want that plaque that I've shown you, let's show you in the inbox, and I've just shown you now, remember that you can get at Nerdloot with 15% off the discount code that you see here, and you can get that, use that discount code until the end of September of 2026. But don't sleep on it, because these plaques are amazing. It has the design straight out of the pages of all the source material, so why wouldn't you? And nerds, that's been our review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you find that useful. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be picking one of these up, because I think they're absolutely worth it. I understand and appreciate that they could be a little bit pricey, but you do have the discount code. And besides of the whole thing of the discount code and besides of the price, it is a saber that, in my opinion, is really worth the money, really worth every cent. So I absolutely hope that you get it. Let me know in the comments what you think, and thank you very much for tuning in. If you're not a subscriber, of course, you can remember to subscribe. It's absolutely welcome, and I would really love that you are part of our fellowship, just that you don't miss all of these videos. And speaking of videos, we have one coming very soon that will be really, really cool, so stick around because you'll want to see that one. Nerds, I've been your host as always, Luke Walker. Remember, The Force will be with you, always. Remember to live long and prosper, and may the odds be ever in your favor, Melanin. And until we meet again, this Chief Manage. I'll see you around, nerds.